Good morning, and thank you all for joining us at the George Unseld Early Learning Center. We are pleased to have with us today Mayor Greg Fischer, Tess McNair, the Executive Director of the CENS Foundation, Sam Corbett, the Executive Director of the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation, Dr. James Francis, the JCPS Director of Early Childhood Programs, and a special guest, Mrs. McCrory, whose child attended a kindergarten readiness camp last summer, and she's going to share her child's experience. So as we know, according to the latest information from the Kentucky Department of Education, just 50.1% of Kentucky youngsters have developed the skills they need to be successful upon entering kindergarten. In Jefferson County, where more than 65% of our public school students qualify for free and reduced lunch, the latest kindergarten screener, or what we call the Brigance screen, data showed that just 47.9% of students starting school are kindergarten ready. That is less than 1 in 2 students come ready for kindergarten. And that's down from 51.9% in 14-15. The decline in readiness was evident across the board for incoming kindergartners, regardless of the type of preschool program they attended or whether they attended a program at all. The largest declines were for students whose setting prior to entering kindergarten was unknown or who stayed home prior to starting school. Imagine this. These youngsters are behind in school before they even start. That's just not acceptable, and we have to change that. Last summer, with the help of the CENS Foundation, we expanded a kindergarten readiness camp program that served 100 students at one location in 2014 to serve 300 students at 3 locations. The gains in kindergarten readiness just after 4 weeks of camp have been remarkable. At the beginning of camp, the children scored 51% ready for kindergarten on the Embark pre-assessment. By the end, those children who attended at least 76% of the time scored 74% ready, a 23% jump on the Embark post-assessment. Overall, regardless of attendance, the children attending camp scored 70.7% kindergarten ready on the Brigance assessment at the start of the kindergarten year. That's amazing. Now, you know I love data. That's a program that works. In fact, it worked so well that the program surpassed its year 3 goals in the very first year of the expansion. When a program works, you want to expand it even more. And I'm excited to welcome to the podium Tess McNair, the Executive Director of the CENS Foundation, to make an exciting announcement about the future of this program. Tess.
Thank you, Dr. Hargens, and congratulations on the results from last summer. They are impressive. As Dr. Hargens said, when we talk about kindergarten readiness, we're talking about one of the first steps that puts kids on track for success in life. Because we know that children who arrive at kindergarten ready to learn are more likely to be successful not just in kindergarten, but in first grade, middle school, high school, college, and on through their career. And that's why early childhood education is one of the pillars of JCPS's Vision 2020. It's also why it's a central component of the CENS Foundation's education grant-making strategy. So last year, when JCPS had a couple of years under its belt of achieving success with 100 children in kindergarten readiness camps, we said, why can't we reach more kids? And JCPS said we can, and the CENS Foundation made a grant of $250,000 to expand those summer camps. As Dr. Hargens said, they tripled the size of the programs and they increased the quality. James Francis is going to tell us more about that in a minute. But the headline here is, this is a program that delivers measurable results and holds broader potential for the district. And that's why the CE&S Foundation today is proud to announce expanded support for this program with a $500,000 grant to expand summer camps next year. Expanding these programs further lets us serve more children in need, but it also lets us continue to gather data that will tell us whether early childhood programs like this help keep children on track and on grade level through third grade, because what we know is being on grade level at third grade is one big indicator of your success throughout your academic career. So our goal this summer is to expand kindergarten readiness camps to 1,200 children in the district. And to accomplish that, the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation has a big task in front of it. We need to raise $1 million to do that. The good news is, Sam, we are halfway there. And so I'd like to introduce Sam Corbett, Executive Director of the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation, to tell you more about that. Sam?
I'm going to take a hug for that. Thank you, Tess. That was a big hug in recognition of the $500,000 that gets us off to a great start. Two things strike me about this program. One, as the superintendent mentioned, the incredible results. 70% when the state average is what it is, when the district average is what it is, I think is remarkable. And I have to credit all of the people at JCPS, particularly the people in the early childhood program, who helped us put this initiative together. This past summer, we did not get the commitment from the CNES Foundation until the end of May, and the program started in early July. We could not hire staff, we could not recruit students, we couldn't do any preparation until we had the commitment for the funding. So the fact that we were able to turn this around in 5 weeks and be so successful is really incredible. And now with this head start of this commitment of $500,000 towards the $1 million goal, we're well on our way towards being even more successful. The second thing that strikes me is the fact, as the mayor likes to talk about all the time, what a great example of a public-private partnership. So on the public side, Metro government, JCPS. On the private side, the private foundations, corporations, and individuals in the community. And our role as part of the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation is to be that facilitator, to be that conduit where community organizations, individuals, can identify an issue that they're interested in related to JCPS, fund it through the Public Education Foundation, and we work in tandem with the school system, with Metro government, and other organizations in the community. So we're on our way. We will reach the $1 million goal. That's a guarantee. I'm standing up here in early January. I'm not quite sure where I'm going to get the other 500, but we will find the 500,000. We will expand the program to over 1,000, hopefully 1,200 students, and be even more successful as this partnership grows and grows. One other partnership I want to mention, which has nothing to do with kindergarten camps, but we have to highlight it because we're here at the George Unseld Center. When you leave today, notice the more than 60 new trees that are around the property, because Trees Louisville, a great community organization, again, working in tandem with the Jefferson County Public Education Foundation and JCPS, is working in a number of schools to plant trees. One thing JCPS does is build great facilities like the Unseld Center, but they put $0 into the budget for landscaping because they're trying to be good stewards of the tax dollars. But as we all know, a little landscaping probably adds to things, and Cindy Sullivan, the Executive Director of Trees Louisville, would tell you trees are vital to our community to increase our tree canopy. So when you leave, pay attention to the trees. Some of them have not even been planted, but will be planted hopefully in the next couple days. So I wanted to recognize that partnership. It's just, these are two examples of some of the great things that are happening with the community, with JCPS, as we try to help all of the students, all 101,000, of which we have about 10 joining us today, as they continue their education. Thank you very much, and I have absolutely no idea who's following me. Superintendent.
And I believe that Sam Corbett can do this and raise the rest of the money to benefit the students that we have. So Tess, Sam and I want to thank you so much. The support of the CE&S Foundation has enabled us to demonstrate that our kindergarten readiness camps work. And now with your support, we can multiply that original 100 times 12, the number of children who can benefit from the program compared to that very first year. That's exciting news, and it's the kind of news that wakes me up every morning, excited to get to work and to be glad that I'm in Louisville, Kentucky. Because we know we can identify the students who need the most support, but when we can provide the kind of support that truly makes a difference, we see multiple benefits. The benefits aren't just specific to the child or even the child's school. The benefit is to the entire district and the entire community. Not only do the students who attend camp have the skills they need, they are more confident and ready to learn when they get to kindergarten. And that translates into better chances for success every year after kindergarten, as they stay at or above grade level all the way to graduation and beyond. Here to give us a little more detail about the results of the 2015 summer camp is Dr. James Francis, the JCPS Director of Early Childhood Programs. James.
Dr. Hargens and everybody that's spoken, thank you so much. And to me, this is a great day. I looked around, I was just sitting over while Dr. Hargens was speaking. I was paying attention, by the way, but I was looking at, we got a lot of numbers around. Numbers here, numbers up here. And I think so many times it's easy to get caught up in numbers. But to me, behind every number is a child. And behind every child is a parent or a guardian or a support group. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to thank Ashley, parents like you, that are willing to enroll their children in this program, willing to get their children out of bed each day to come to this program. And I think that when you share your story about your child, I think everybody will understand exactly what I'm talking about. Dr. Hargens spoke about attendance. Attendance really does matter. And it's because of parents' encouragement for students to get up out of bed and attend. And those students that attended 76 to 100% of the time, Dr. Hargens alluded to the fact that they scored 74% kindergarten ready. That's 3 percentage points higher than the others, students that did not. They attended the camp, but not within that range. So attendance does matter. And it not only matters in being ready for kindergarten, but it matters on all testing throughout the district. I want to pay a special recognition to the school that you're in today because, as we mentioned, attendance matters. This school here, Untitled, and Stephanie is the site administrator. She's here with us. This school during the summer camp had an attendance rate of 93%. Dr. Hargens mentioned the Embark had an increase overall of 23%. And in particular areas, cognitive, physical development, counting, and naming body parts increased by double digits. However, the most significant gains were in the area of writing your name, which increased 20%, personal information increased 18%, alphabet knowledge increased 17%, and gross motor skills increased 16%. I want to stop and pause here and say a special recognition to McNair Early Childhood Center. That particular center, their scores went from 32% when the program started to 80% kindergarten ready. To me, this is really a critical number as well. 84% of all the students that participated in this program were African American or Hispanics. And this is extremely important when you consider the gains in these groups on the Brigance for this school year. African American students participating in JCPS early childhood programs perform better than African American students all across the state of Kentucky on the Brigance. As a matter of fact, JCPS students that participated in our program scored at 50.9% compared to non-JCPS at 32.8%. I think that is a phenomenal number. Also, another subgroup that's really critical to the success of our entire program is the Hispanic population. Hispanic students participating in JCPS early childhood programs perform better than students who are not in JCPS early childhood programs on the Brigance by over 10 percentage points. I think that's an incredible number as well. I want to pause now, and as I close, to say this. These things, Sam alluded to this, they don't happen overnight. It takes an incredible amount of work. From me sharing the data that I just shared with you, that was provided by our data team led by Dina Dossett. I want to give a special shout out to her and her team. I also want to thank CENS because, Tess, if it wasn't for people and groups and organizations like you guys, we could not do this work. And that means that these children can't be successful. So I hope, and I think that you guys do get it, their success is because of folks like you, and I want to thank you for that. I also want to thank Jimmy. Jimmy's sitting on the front row down here. Jimmy is the one, Sam, and knows this, that took this ball and ran with it and prepared this massive undertaking in a 5-week period. He had a lot of help in doing that. I acknowledge that. Mike Toronzo's on the back row back there. He is our finance person. Their teams were absolutely incredible. HR, which is over at Van Hoos, they pulled off, to me, a modern miracle to make this thing happen. I want to thank our transportation department, because if they don't do their job well, then we can't be successful. I want to thank Karen Branham for her leadership, her guidance, and her support of this program. And none of this really happens without the leadership of the lady that sits to my right, and that's Dr. Donna Hargens. I want to thank her for her support, her leadership on this program. And with that, Dr. Hargens, I say thanks, and I'm turning it back over to you.
Thanks, James. And now I'd like to introduce Mayor Greg Fischer, who has been such a huge supporter of Jefferson County Public Schools. And he says education practically in every sentence. I love that. Mayor Fischer.
Thank you, Superintendent. Well, no, it's all about education. I mean, it basically solves every problem that the world has right now, so we can't talk about it enough. Congratulations to everybody. This is just a super way to start our morning here, or mid-morning, I should say. What it shows is, there are programs that work, and there are programs that are very effective. And when you get good people with good intentions together, moving fast, Sam, fast, things can happen. And why is that important? Because one year in a child's life is a long time. When we talk about, well, we're going to miss this year and we're going to miss this year. For these kids that started out at 30% ready and now are over, 80%, 70% ready, that's phenomenal. You don't see numbers like that, hardly ever. So to have a program like this coming in and being scaled in our city is cause for tremendous, tremendous celebration. Here's what we know. When we talk about, in our city, we've created this system of lifelong learning. We call it Cradle to Career, and it's being looked at all over the country as a model. So basically, the concept of Cradle to Career is throughout our entire lives, each and every one of us have to be learning at all times in order to be productive citizens in this rapidly changing global economy that we have. So it has 4 pillars. The first pillar we call early care and pre-K, making sure every kid's ready for kindergarten. The second is K-12, so we have 130,000 kids in K-12. When they graduate, we want to make sure they're college and career ready. The third pillar is 55,000 degrees, so more degrees in the community, whether it's a 2-year degree, a 4-year degree, or a certificate if someone doesn't go on to college. And then the fourth pillar we call 21st century careers. How has your life prepared you to be successful in this rapidly changing global economy? Do you have the tools? Do you have the skills? Do you know how to be a lifelong learner? So the goal of that system is to prepare healthy, thriving adults. So what? They can raise healthy, thriving children. So it's a virtuous circle that helps us all. So we know, as we have spent time in this system, that it's not just all about learning. It's also about knowing what the right interventions are from a health standpoint and a social service standpoint, where kids, by looking at the data, we know if we don't address an issue at this age in their life, their odds to succeed go way down. So this program is a tremendous example of saying we've got to get kids ready for kindergarten. Because here's the facts. Some of our kids show up 3 years behind other kids at the age of 6. Now, how many of those kids catch up? The data shows us about 10%. So wouldn't it be smart to intervene before they get to kindergarten so that they, in fact, are ready for kindergarten and ready to compete? So identifying a program and scaling a program like this in our community is right at the core of what Cradle to Career is all about, and preparing all of our citizens, especially our youngest citizens, for success in life. Because if these guys aren't prepared, it takes a lot more time and a lot more money later on in their lives to get them ready. So we're very focused on everything that we can do to get our youngest citizens ready. I would love to see high-quality universal pre-K in our whole city. There are a few states that are doing that around the country right now. Just think about the advantage those states are going to have. Think about the advantage those individual kids are going to have to succeed in life. And it is a tremendous investment. I would rather invest in these early stages right now than in the social costs that come later by not investing. And we see those when kids aren't at grade level reading. We see that in truancy. We see that in crime statistics in our city. Challenge your public representatives, whether it be at the state level or federal level, to say, let's invest more in our kids, our youngest citizens, with universal high-quality pre-care. We do that, it will take care of a lot of issues down the road. There's enough money in the whole system. We're just not allocating it as smartly as we should with all the learnings that we have. And we know a lot more about how important it is to invest in these kids right now. So I would encourage y'all to be loud about early care, universal high-quality pre-K, talk to your state representatives, talk to your federal representatives, certainly talk to your Metro Council members. You can talk to me, too, and I'll agree with you. So you don't have to waste your time talking to me. I'm for it, and we're trying to get more of it. So we have great private partners, like the CENS Foundation that step up. Barry Allen's in the room with Geens. Like when they step up, when our public JCPS Foundation steps up, that Sam is leading. This is what makes the difference. But let's also figure out how we can get more public dollars there as well. So I just wanted to thank everybody very, very much. There's a lot of programs. There's a lot of people working. Sometimes you wonder whether or not they work. This works. The data is irrefutable. Now our challenge is let's scale it even more behind the 1,200 kids that are going to be impacted like this. So it's a very exciting day for the community. And you've heard all of us talk. Let's hear from somebody that's got a real personal stake in this. Because her daughter, Donna, was a participant in this program this last year. So Ashley McCrary, Ashley, if you could come up, please. Ashley is Donna's mom, and she had the experience of going through this program to kind of see how it affected her daughter. So come on up here. I'm just going to ask you, hey, Ashley, how's it going?
Hey,
nice to see you.
Nice to meet you.
Well, did your daughter have fun in the program?
She had fun, and she learned a lot. She scored distinguished in reading and math, and I feel like it's important. Thank you. I feel like it's important to have programs like this for the children, because the children are our future. You know, these children are going to be our nurses, our doctors, our mayors, our lawyers, our presidents. So it's important for them to learn. Education is important, and like I said, they are our future. So without education, we don't have the good lawyers, the good doctors, the teachers, mayors, presidents. So it's important.
So what did you see? I mean, this program's not that long. You must have seen her learning almost every day. What was your interaction at home? How did it change?
She learned almost every day, because when she was in school, she learned too. But the summer program really pushed her learning. I mean, her reading got so much better. her math got so much better. And she was just a happy kid. She was happy to go there. She met a lot of friends. You know, kids love having friends. And she enjoyed it. She enjoyed her teacher. And so it worked out. It was a success.
And then what'd you tell your friends about the program?
I feel that everybody should put their kids in it. If, you know, if the school's doing it, I feel like everybody should put their kids in the summer program. It's perfect.
And now, where's Denia in kindergarten now?
Denia goes to Greenwood Elementary, and she's doing good there.
So good transition.
Yes, she's doing very good.
Well, let's hear it for Denia and Ashley here. Good job. Way to go.
Thank you.
Way to go. All right. There you go. The proof's in the pudding. So great job. What's next? Okay. All right, thanks, everybody.
We're going to go ahead and take your questions now about the Kindergarten Readiness Program for about 5 minutes, and then we're going to walk over to a classroom and do a tour of a classroom, and then we'll come back here and take any questions that media have about security today. So questions about the Kindergarten Readiness Program from media.
Criteria for selection of the kids.
Okay. James? Jimmy? This is Jimmy Wathen, Wathen, Jimmy.
Actually, for the criteria for selection for the students, the first criteria were they would be students that would be transitioning to kindergarten. And for this past summer, the children who participated in the program were children that were enrolled in JCPS early childhood programs.
Anything else before we go to tour? Okay, we're going to go ahead and go to a classroom down the hall. Did I miss one? I'm sorry, I apologize. Oh, hi, Kirsten.
You said there were 100 students participating in 2014. How many last year?
300. All right, we'll go ahead and let you guys break down. We're going to go down the hallway to the left.